Alright, welcome everyone. In today's video, I'm going to show you how to create the drill block that's in 1.3.2. And that's going to be this one right here. We're going to create this in Inventor. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and switch to my Inventor here. I'm going to make sure that I'm having it here in inches. Make sure that your measurements are in inches. Okay. So let's go ahead and create a new part. Here, create. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and create a new sketch. I'm gonna do it on the front plane. I'm gonna go ahead and create a rectangle. I'm gonna start at the origin. And again, it's gonna be a 5 by 3. So I'm gonna go ahead and type 5 inches, tab, and then 3 inches, right? And I'm gonna go ahead and zoom out. And again, those dimensions are in the drawing. There we go. So we're gonna go ahead and finish. And then we're gonna go ahead and extrude it by 2 inches. There we go, extrude. I'm gonna go ahead and type 2 inches and then press enter. Okay, so now the next thing I'm gonna do is change the physical material of this figure. So I'm gonna go ahead and go here to the part and right click and select properties. All right, I'm gonna go to here to physical, and on the drop down menu I'm gonna go all the way down to wood. Right, so we can go all the way down to cherry, and then I'm gonna select apply, and then I'm gonna press close. All right, so now it looks more similar to the one in the drawing that's in 1.3.2. All right, so now we're gonna go ahead and create our, first before we do our holes, we have to create our dots, right? So our points where we wanna create our holes. So for that, we're gonna create a new sketch on the top part of the figure. So I'm gonna right click and say select new sketch. There you go, right there. I'm gonna go ahead and rotate this way to get a better view. I'm gonna zoom in a little bit. So now I'm gonna go ahead and create a construction line. So up here, I'm gonna select this part, construction. I want this to be on, right? So now when I create a line, it's gonna be a construction line. So now I'm gonna go down and find the middle point. So whenever the dot turns green, that means I'm at the middle. So there we go, it turned green. So I'm at the middle. So I'm gonna go all the way to the right side. And there we go. Now I have a construction line. I'm gonna press escape. And I'm gonna unselect the construction line. Okay, now it's time to add 4 points. So I'm gonna go here to points. I'm gonna, put them around 1 inch. I'm just gonna drop them. It's fine if it's not 1 inch, because later on we're gonna, again, it has to be 1 inch, so we're gonna add dimensions to be exactly 1 inch apart. So that's fine. Third point is right here, and then the fourth point is right there. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and press escape. Now I'm gonna go ahead and add dimensions. So again, here to here, it's gonna be 1 inch. So I'm gonna put 1 and then press enter. Right, from this point to, again, the edge here, it's gonna be 2 inches. I'm gonna press 2 and enter, and then same thing. From the third point to the left line, it should be 3 inches. So I'm gonna press 3 and press enter, and then the fourth point to the line is gonna be 4 inches. So there we go, 4 inches, and then I'm gonna press enter. All right, so now it's time to go ahead and make our points. So I'm gonna go ahead and finish the sketch. Right, I'm gonna rotate my figure. Let's see if I can get to the top view. There we go. So now I'm gonna use the hole command. Okay, now it has 4 holes selected. I'm just gonna press X, right? Because we're just doing 1 by 1. right? So it's asking select the points for the holes. I'm going to select the first one. Okay, so let's go ahead and work on the first one. So now you're going to have to go back and look at your drawing, right? What are the dimensions for this drawing? So right here on the first one, we can see it has a diameter of 0.5 inches and it's a through hole. So let's go ahead and add that. So first of all, make sure that it's a through hole, simple hole. There we go. It's going all the way through. Here it's already set for a diameter of 0.50 or 0.50. Now there should be no, it's going to be a simple hole, right? None. There we go. So there's no counterbore or no countersink. So I'm going to put none. Right, so that should be 0.5 all the way through. So I'm going to press OK. There we go. So now we have our first hole. So now we lost our other points, but they should be in the sketch. Right, so if we go here to hole number 1, we should have the dimensions here. So all we have to do is right click and say share sketch. And now they should be back up so where we can see them. So let's go ahead and look at hole number 2. All right, so hole number 2 has a diameter of 0.375 and has a depth of 2 inches. It has a counterbore of 0.75 and the depth of the counterbore is 0.50. So let's go ahead and work on that second hole. So I'm going to go to the hole command. Again, I want to X out and just select the second hole. There we go. Now this one, it's not a through hole, so I'm going to select here, it goes up to a distance, right? And it does have a counterbore, so I'm going to select here counterbore. So now let's go ahead and change some of the settings here. So first of all, diameter is 0.375. 375. There we go. Has a depth of 2 inches. Let's go ahead and change that to 2 inches. Now the counterbore has a diameter of 0.75. Let's go ahead and change that. There we go. And the counterbore depth is 0.50. So let's go ahead and change that. There we go. So now just double check that everything's correct. 375. Double check that everything's correct. And then you're going to press OK. Let me just double check. Okay. All right. So now we're going to go ahead and work and take a look at our third hole. So our third hole has a diameter of 0.25, has a depth of 2.25, countersink diameter of 1 by 82 degrees. All right, so let's go ahead and work on that third hole. Select the hole command. Again, we want to X out of these. We just want to select the third hole. There we go. So let's go ahead and change this to a countersink. There we go. So it has a diameter of 0.25. Let's go ahead and change that. Start from the bottom. 0.25. Has a depth of 2.25. So let's go ahead and add 0.25 here. 0.25. The countersink has a 1-inch diameter by 82 degrees. Okay, so let's go ahead and delete this. Type in 1 inch. So it should be 1 inch by 82. It's already set to 82. And then everything else is correct. 25. And I'm going to select OK. All right. All right, so let's go ahead and take a look at our fourth hole. Okay. Let's go ahead and look at that. Our fourth hole has a diameter of 0.5 and it's a through hole all the way through. Has a counterbore of diameter of 0.75 with a depth of 0.625. So let's go ahead and work on that last hole. Okay. It's going to be a through hole. So right away, I'm going to select here all the way through. And it has a counter bore. So I'm going to select this setting here, counter bore. And let's go ahead and start at the bottom, right? 0.50 all the way through. There we go, 0.50 all the way through. Counter bore has a diameter of 0.75. There we go. Has a depth of 0.625. Actually, this is right here. This is 0.75. Make sure you add the point. There we go. And then this is 0.625. And then just double check that everything's correct. Counterbore diameter is 0.75. Depth is 0.625. And then the diameter of the hole is 0.5 all the way through. So I'm going to press OK. All right, so now we have our holes, right? So now let's go ahead and take a look. Right? You can even press the home view, right? So now let's go ahead and hide our sketches, right? So I'm going to right click and say visibility off. Let's go ahead and do that. And also we're going to finish by creating the bottom part, cutting the block in half so we can see the holes from the inside, also known as a section view that's in the drawing. So for that, we're going to go ahead and create a new sketch right here on this side. All we're going to do is create a rectangle, the same rectangle that we did before. I'm just going to trace over it. There we go. I'm going to finish the sketch. And then I'm going to extrude the sketch the other way to make a cut, right? Because I want to make a cut. So I'm going to pick the other way, flipped the other side. And again, we're going to do half. So it's just 1 inch. I'm going to put 1 inch. And then I'm going to press OK. And now we can see the holes, right? Okay, so at this time, I'm going to go ahead and do the sketch and go to text. And you should be able to add your name, right? Again, you can press one of the sides. You can, there we go. Try to make your name big. Add your name. There we go. So now you can finish. And then now you can go ahead and make sure you save your work. You might have to exit sketch mode. That's fine. But make sure you save your work. And you can, again, name it 1.3.2 drill block. And you can save that. Again, and now you can go ahead and take your full Windows screenshot by pressing Windows Shift S. Thank you, and I will see you in the next video.